Hi everybody, I'm Stacy with Stacy's Organizing and Decorating for Life, or stacyforlife.com. I'm here to help you organize your thoughts and decorate your perspectives. So today our topic is going to be on love and fear, and we're also going to talk about how to stay united instead of divided. So if you like that that's our topic today, please hit the like and subscribe button below. So there's a lot going on right now, right? I mean, cosmically, metaphysically, and we're being bombarded with so much information right now. And the thing is that it's all true to a degree, and then some of it's not true. And we're looking for answers in this time of uncertainty. And it's overwhelming. So I just wanted to remind us at this time that we want to plant seeds of love, seeds of hope, instead of doubt and fear. So yesterday, I'm feeling all this energy because it is a lot of energy, a lot of information, a lot of energy, a lot of stuff, and I'm feeling all this, and I was in sorrow, and last week's video was about crying, and it was about not apologizing for crying. However, when I was feeling the sorrow yesterday, it reminded me of when I was a girl, and I would be sad, and my mom would say, "Stacy, you look like you lost your best friend." And I would tell her what was wrong, and she would say, "Oh, I'm sorry." So many of us have learned that a compassionate and empathetic answer is just to say, "I'm sorry," when, somebody tells us that they're sad or that they tell us that they're dealing with something. I myself have done that, and many times with my friends, I would say, "I'm sorry," and they would say, "Oh, it's not your fault." But here's the deal, I don't like the word fault so much, because fault to me is indicative of blame. And we really have way too much blame going on in this world today, and blame is not the solution. To me, love and unity is the solution, that we can overcome stuff as a collective group if we choose to. But if we stay in this other thing, that's where we get into the metaphysical part, that I'm afraid that if that's the energy we bring, that's not healing. So I wanted to remind us to stay there in that. So there's things that I'm sorry for that I just want to acknowledge, because I'm not blind to what's going on in the world today. And yesterday I made this little list, and it's just a little list. This is so huge, everything that's going on. So I want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the economy. I know that many people are uncertain and in fear of the economy. I'm sorry about the racism. I'm sorry that some people are afraid of people of a different color, culture, and belief system. I'm sorry about the negativity, that people are afraid to get on the internet, which they've relied on so much to keep their social connections because of the negativity that's being spewed out there. People dividing themselves from other people. I'm sorry about the fear that parents have regarding raising their children in these times. And I'm sorry about the young people that are afraid of losing their parents during these times. And I'm sorry about the abuse, because when people get frustrated, they can be abusive. Some of the nicest people can say nasty things. But even in this time, hurt people, and they usually hurt the ones closest and nearest to them. So I'm sorry. Also, I'm sorry about the loss and the death. It's real. There's much loss and death, and many people are dying alone because of this. It's a terrible situation, and it's unfortunate that a mask and social distancing isn't going to fix all of this. I'm not by any means saying not to do that. I'm not opposed to that. In fact, that's necessary at this time because we know so little. What I am saying is not to allow ourselves to be divided by this stuff, by what's right and wrong, is to be compassionate and to realize that everybody is probably doing the best that they can. I want us to remember back when AIDS was around, because we didn't have any of this craziness with Ebola or, the SARS and everything else. But when AIDS came about, people were homophobic. And people were once again calling people names. People were afraid of touching people. It was dividing families. People were, not having family members, didn't want them close to them and everything. They were freaking out, and there was a lot of stigmatizing on it. And so I don't want this to turn into that, to where we are stigmatized by certain things, that we start dividing ourselves up and calling people names and being bullies. At the end of this thing, I want us to remember the golden rule, because the golden rule has been long forgotten, even before this has come about. I posted a video from 2017 yesterday by Jack Cornfield, and it was really good, and we'll go to that and the golden rule at the end of this video. But I just wanted to remind us not to be burning bridges into hurting and cutting ourselves off emotionally from people because of our fears and our insecurities and our uncertainties at this time. We can't build anything on that, but if we can stay united and be compassionate, maybe if we can afford extra masks, buying extra masks and offering somebody one if they're a little close to us, rather than talking about them or giving them a dirty look or something like this, because maybe they're doing the best that they can with what they have. Maybe they're overwhelmed with all these things that I named that I was sorry for. We don't know a person's situation. You know, even me with the mask, when I was a little girl, I almost drowned. And so I don't like stuff on my face. And I'm putting the mask on, I'm wearing it on my wrist. And when I go in a business, grocery store, coffee shop, anywhere, I put the mask on like I'm supposed to. But when I come out, as soon as I'm at a safe distance from people, that mask is coming off because, you know, almost drowning, I had to learn to swim. And part of my learning swimming was I had to sit on the back porch with a bucket of water, put my face in the water and blowing bubbles, you know, because I was afraid to put my face underwater. I don't like snorkeling still yet today. My friend reminded me, you know, last week, she said, Stacy, I bet this is really driving you crazy because I know you don't like anything on your face, you know, and I don't wear full face motorcycle helmets. I don't like those. So needless to say, I don't ride motorcycles much. And I went in Hoover Dam and I freaked out because the concrete was all around me, you know, and I knew that I'm just a little person underneath all this concrete, you know, so I am compassionate to that. And so if we can think about how these things can affect other people, you know, and stuff. And so I'm also compassionate about the people who are compromised by this, who have, you know, different things that affects their breathing and stuff. So that's why when I do go in a place and I am around people, I wear the mask because we don't even know. That's what I'm saying. Don't let it divide you because we don't even know if it is protecting us. But I do believe that if people think that it's protecting them, that's a little bit of protection in itself. You know, and for me, I'm going to go on an airplane next month. My mom has something that she wanted to do on her bucket list. Don't worry, my mom is okay. You know, but we don't ever come with expiration dates. If anything can teach us this is there is so much uncertainty, even when there's not this going on. We don't know how long somebody's time on this earth is. And so my mom, you know, had something she wanted to do, so I'm going to fly into Texas next month. I don't know what it's going to be like in airports, but I'm going to fly into Texas next month. I'm going to take my mom on a road trip. We're going to take lots of pictures, and this is what love and life is about, you know, and that's a luxury, and that's something that, you know, I'm fortunate to be able to do. I was going to try to go to Europe the UK this fall, and that's not going to happen, you know, due to all the stuff that's going on. So we are all adapting. We are grieving the world that we used to know. We're trying to adapt to this world, but we also have to live in hope that someday we'll be able to take the mask off and be able to see people's real smiles, but maybe not. But if we can still keep smiling with our eyes, that's good, because I've been really happy that I've been able to see people smiling with their eyes these days. So looking at faces and stuff like that, and we can't see a full face right now, but just to imagine and to stay in that hope. You know, I'm going to read you a poem by Irene Sipos or Sipos. It's spelled S-I-P-O-S. So, and the poem is called Tired, and I think that many of us are feeling tired right now. So let me pull it up right quick, and I will read it to you. And I'd just like you to envision this, because it's just it's lighter, you know, and many of us are searching and looking for something lighter right now. So here it goes. It says, sitting across the aisle on the B train, I look at the row of weary faces, various shapes, sizes, colors, and ages, a horizontal explication of what it means to have woken many mornings, to have routine, to leave concerns at home, along with scattered laundry and unwashed dishes, to head for same at work. I picture each of you, one at a time. I try to observe without you knowing, and suddenly I see round, soft faces, no creases in foreheads, no wrinkles like parentheses around the eyes, no downturned mouths, no slumped shoulders, I see the plump babies you once were, and with that, a rush of hoping that you were affectionately held on generous laps, that you were sung tender songs, that you were offered a bowl of blueberries as initiation to the messy pleasures of this world. I hope that occasionally you reach back, even if only briefly, to recall your beginning self, as a visitor new to the planet, unencumbered and dear. So we are all unencumbered and dear, and if we can remember that, that as we look at people, we don't know their stories, but we can look at and see the softness underneath. And if not, just look somewhere else. That's the thing, is like I was saying, the golden rule and not to be bullies, because the bullying thing's been going on for a long time. And if we could stop it, that was going on before now. We don't want to teach our kids to be bullies. We don't want to see that. That's not a good place to be in the bully thing. And how does that happen? And how it happens usually is unintentional, I believe. If we want to see the innocence of things, is sometimes it's sad that the things that we don't like, we end up mocking. And then we actually become it. And I've seen it more than once, and it makes me sad. And I've caught myself, and that's why I know it, is because sometimes when we think somebody's being mean and we make a judgment at somebody else, and then then if we look at it, we're doing the same thing, So it's, if we don't like something, just to dismiss it. I don't like to call people stupid or idiots or anything. That's something that's not in my vocabulary, because the thing is that I've been stupid sometimes, and to not judge ourselves, because like I was saying earlier, we all make mistakes and are fallible, and we only do that because we didn't know, right? So we're just human, and to be humane, oftentimes I talk to you all about balance and finding that balance in videos. And I know that in this time, it is hard to find a balance. So I'm only going to suggest to you, like Lisa Nichols says, who's a very great motivational, inspirational teacher. She says, don't look for balance, look for harmony. So I'm asking you all to look for harmony in humanity. And you're not going to find it with the fear and division and the, uncertainty. And I'm not saying that we are not living in uncertain times, but I'm saying that when we look at the what ifs, what if we look at things as what if, someday we were able to, if we can get together on a unified level, that we can all raise our vibrations and ask the universe to take these masks from our faces, to take this sickness from out of this atmosphere, that maybe it's going to dissolve. I pray for it to dissolve wherever things go, that they just disappear. I pray for it just to have run its course and not be here. So it's lifting our vibration and being aware of what we can do. What kind of seeds are we planting? How do you want to show up? How do you want to be remembered? Because like I said, we don't come with an expiration date. I would hope that I would be remembered as a person of love, and I think that I would. And this is the thing, is that, I pray that the world be blessed indeed, that peace be at the spores of each and every seed. And how are we going to do that if we can stay unified? So when I shared that video yesterday, it was in 2017, and it talked about much of the things, the bullying, and if you don't know the golden rule, it's treating others how you want to be treated. If you don't want people to call you stupid and say ugly things about you, then don't say it about anybody else, whether they can hear you or not. Because it's just that I believe that it's very important what you put in your mind, body, and soul, but everything that comes out of you is what you're putting in, and what comes out of you is just as equally as important, So I'll close with this story that Jack Cornfield told yesterday at the end of of his talk that I posted on Facebook. And like I said, it was about the division in 2017, about the election and stuff, that kind of thing. So he said there was this lady that used to pass by the homeless, on her way home from work. And so she would come home from work and make sandwiches and take them to the homeless. Not every day, and not because she felt sorry for them, just because she had the stuff and she was willing to give it. So eventually the media caught hold of it, and they told, the news started telling people about it. So people started sending her checks to fund it. But the thing was she wasn't doing it for attention, and she wasn't doing it for funding. She wasn't doing it for anything except for the fact that she had it to give. And that's really where we come from, a place of generosity, is when we give what we have. And so what she did was she sent those checks back and with a little note that said, make your own damn sandwiches. So it's, how are you going to show up in the world? Is the moral to that story is, are you going to make your own damn sandwiches? Are you going to spread those spores of peace and love and unity? Or are you going to be divided by fear and uncertainty? Please don't let that divide you at this day and time. That's not what we need more of in this world. So I hope that this has been able to help you and help you lift your vibe, so that you can lift other people and help other people to show up, and that we just remain humane. And again, if I can help anybody with organize their thoughts and decorate their perspectives, I'm willing to give you 30 minutes of my time. All you have to do is email me, stacyreinick@gmail.com. You can find me on social media, Stacy Renee, except on Instagram, I'm Stacy Renee 8, because they wouldn't let me just be Stacy Renee. So anyway, I hope that this has been valuable and helpful to you, that it's lifted your spirits a little bit, that I have validated you, that your fears and uncertainties, that they are there, that all this stuff really is happening, but you have a choice on how you're going to show up, and to live in hope. Because hope is going to get you that job. Hope is going to get you past, and peace is going to get you past all the other obstacles that we have in our way. And life on life's terms is a series of obstacles, unfortunately. There's no plateau to getting somewhere unless we're not in our earthly bodies, that we're not going to deal with those things. We can all show up and make this world a better place, though, until then. It's not giving up. It's not going to despair. Okay? Just know that we care. Let's let people know we care. You can say, I'm sorry. Say, I care. So with that being said, I wish you much peace and love, and I will talk to you again next week. Thank you.